go ahead and kiss and tell. Yeah, I'd admit to a polite curiosity.
Wait, don't turn the channel. You've tuned into High Gravity.
The show where we talk about beer, brewing, and bullshit.
Where the only thing we take seriously is the next round.
So grab a glass.
Fill it with something cold.
And enjoy the show. And welcome to the show.
How'd your date go last night, Squirrely Dan? Oh, we went to the Chips trucks. Did you get fries and gravy? Well, I had fries and gravy. She had fries and malts vinegar. Do you know malts vinegar isn't a table condiment down in the United States?
Just gonna keep going.
Someone should write a letter. They have running water down there? Dairy. All right, so welcome back. I'm quoting letter, Kenny. For you uncultured enough not to know.
If we ever get sued for like copyright infringement, I really hope it's just from the Letterkenny people.
I'm pretty sure that that's not a thing that they could do.
I don't know. I mean, we pretty directly quote.
They're from Canada.
You know, to be fair.
That's true. To be fair.
To be fair.
All right, so in hindsight, if we were thinking men, which
You said drinking men?
that's
Oh,
better.
yeah, we're that.
Okay.
We're that.
We have that. We've got a beer here
As long as you didn't say Minute Man.
from Breckenridge, Colorado. If we were smart, we would have paired that with the last beer we had
Last
from
week's,
Colorado.
yeah.
But, well, we're going to drink this
didn't have
Breckenridge,
this one
Colorado beer.
last week.
So we had to do a little bit of research because as we discussed last time, beers that don't have dates on them, just date your beers. Just stamp them so we can know when they are from.
Especially if they want you to age it, or you should age it for something special in the future. Come on.
So we did some digging, and I know that some of the other bottles I bought along with this one were 2013, and the oldest picture of it we can find, or the first picture of it we can find on Untappd, is 2013 of this exact bottle. The internet doesn't seem to know, but it is part of Breckenridge Brewing Company's small batch series. This is their Imperial Porter, but at 7.5% alcohol. I mean, I guess technically Imperial, but by my definition, not Imperial. But anyway, a little description on the bottle here. Roll up your sleeves and get to work on this Imperial Porter. Named after the 18th century luggage porters in London, it's been a well-deserved reward for the laborer for over 200 years. We put in the extra hours and double it up from our small batch series. Just well done, folks. Job well done. And it says somewhere on here, it says, beer for the laborer. So I guess if you work hard, you should drink porter.
Labor of love.
I guess, man. Drinking this beer is a laborer of love.
So what year did we say this was from?
2013.
That's 11, 10 years? Mm-hmm. 11 years now.
Yep. I mean, it's possible it could be 2014, but it's...
I'm a little worried because after 3 years, you kind of lose that.
It still is. Based on the date, the codes and numbers on the bottle, I'm thinking September of 13. That looks like a little bit of sediment there. Or is that broken glass?
No, it didn't break, thankfully, but it's just got a little bit of like, I don't know what you call this. Does it look like mold around there?
Well, it looks like September 13 was the date actually on the glass.
Nasty.
So I'm going to say late 13, early 14 is when this is from.
Yeah, I think July 2013 was when the first check-in I could find on Untappd for this beer. There was 99 check-ins, but a bitch ain't one.
I don't know. Did you look at all the check-ins?
It's got a remarkable amount of carbonation to it, honestly. That carved up really well. There's a hair in my beer, and I know it's not Daryl's.
Was it green?
It was not. It wasn't from the leprechaun.
So for this being an Imperial Porter, I mean, I guess his color's good. It's kind of that lighter style.
I really hope someone just drives by and sees three dudes leaning over a table looking at a glass.
It's a brewery. You can see light through it, so it's not like a dark stout style. It doesn't smell awful. Kind of smells like you'd expect.
Like a porter.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like it. There's a tinny taste to it.
I don't get that yet.
That's on the finish is where I get it.
That's actually not bad.
No, I like it. It's not overly complex by any means, but
there's
it's
not a lot
still
to
a
it.
very full-bodied beer.
It's just straightforward. It's
Thin.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to it.
kind of a little bitterness into it on that back end. Dryness.
I almost get a little vanilla.
It's a good
don't
drinking
get
beer.
any
Maybe that's because I was drinking coffee.
It's a good drinking beer. I actually kind of like this.
I don't
not
like
gonna
the
lie.
taste that sits on your tongue afterwards.
It's like it wants to be something heavy and bourbon barrel aged, but it's not.
I don't know what
That'd be
that
the only
taste
way I
is.
can describe it.
Do you taste like an after, like finish sitting on your tongue like a powder? Or
No, mine is just a vanilla. I get like a little bit of vanilla that just hangs on my palate.
Since y'all fucked that up here. Oh, that sounds like I just put a mic in the men's room. I'm gonna stop that.
No, it was sounding really good until you started talking. I was enjoying it.
I'm not enjoying this. I have an aftertaste from it that I can't explain. I just don't like.
I honestly, that's not bad.
I'm gonna let it warm up and see if it's still there.
For something
Warm,
that's
I don't feel this would do good. This one's got to be cold.
an 11-year-old porter,
It's very good.
I'm
I
surprised. I was actually I was a little worried that this one was going to be shite.
I think it's shite.
I'll tell you off the air, but a friend of mine said something last night, and it took me a solid 2 minutes to process it, and then it was like, whoa, wait, what did you just ask me? He wasn't propositioning. It'll make more sense. I'll tell you guys later.
Disappointed now. I don't want to hear the rest of the story. If you're not getting propositioned, got to be honest.
I mean, technically, I was propositioned, but for a
All right, good, I'm in.
service, not a physical function.
I think you could. Those
There's
things don't
nothing
have to be
illegal.
mutually exclusive.
It was, in fact, a legal request.
All right, I got to go back to work, guys. You have fun.
So you got propositioned for sexual favors.
No, actually, very explicitly, not.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no one wants to hear about non-sexual favors. It's like, oh, my friend asked me to help him move. Great story.
Why? Do you think people want to hear
But he
about
offered,
it?
he offered pizza and beer.
Yeah, and then turns out the pizza had extra sausage, and there was a cameraman. It was very awkward.
Yeah, I'm out on that beer.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't hate it.
I don't dislike it, honestly.
Yeah.
If I ordered one of these and drank it, I'd be like, this is nothing special, but I wouldn't like send it back.
Like, if it had like a $9 price tag, I'd be upset. But if it were like $7, I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, I think it probably would have been really good, fresh.
Yeah. I think it's past its peak.
Definitely.
I would feel confident in saying that as a descriptor for this. It's good, but it's past its peak.
The more I drink it, the more I kind of get what you're saying, Darryl. Maybe I'm washing the coffee off my palate.
Yeah, it's like a weird taste afterwards. It's almost like a film sits on your tongue or a powder type taste to me.
I think also like the bigger kind of gulpy
See, I don't
taste.
get that at all. Like I said, I get just kind of like a funky, tinny aftertaste almost.
Yeah, it does start to taste a little older the more of it I drink.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can describe it is it just tastes old.
Powdery.
I don't get the powdery. It's very much wet.
What powdery things have you tasted that lead this to your descriptor?
The same concept as a horse blanket.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true.
Daryl's
Have you
drug
actually
dealer only
smelled a
sells them
horse
baby
blanket,
powder.
though? I have horses that have blankets if you want to,
We've drank some
refresh
beers
in your
with some of
mind.
that good, wet horse blanket to it.
I ate the manure descriptor for some of those weird German beers.
Manure?
I mean, I've smelled
Yeah.
and tasted some beers that have that farmyard funk. That's the only descriptor. Is like this is like a cow pasture on a hot day.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a
That's just that wild yeast strain.
yeah, it's
going
such a
through.
misleading thing
It
to
is.
like describe it as because like people automatically assume, oh my god, it must
bad.
taste like
It's
like
eating
horse
It's
cow
not a
poop.
negative thing.
And I'm like,
yeah.
no, but like when you smell it or you taste it, your brain goes
Wild
there.
is
But like,
probably the best descriptor of that
but
term,
it doesn't
yeah.
taste like. I mean, I don't know how many people have eaten cow shit. I sure haven't. But
No.
like, so I'm like, what's your frame of reference for that? And it's like, well, it's just that smell in
true.
the air. Like, it's just I
If
don't
you've
know.
driven by one of these farms,
Yeah,
that'll get you close.
on a July day,
Yeah.
and the sun's out and it's ripe.
But what if you were propositioned to?
Hard pass.
How much money's on the line?
Yeah, my dignity's for sale, but there is a point. I guess honestly, there is a price tag for everything. If it's not going to kill you,
No, I got a few things that there's just never going to happen.
I don't know about that.
No, I do.
$1 billion is a lot of millions, 1,000 to be precise. Quick maths.
There's that loud fucking Dodge again.
Oh man, he's got a lifted truck. I bet he's cool.
It's a rusted out Dodge. He's not.
No, I was.
Cooler than me.
I suppose, honestly. You know, that's a really low barrier of entry.
I
I
had to
feel
take
like.
my bicycle here today.
Oh yeah, how'd that work for you? That's a long ride.
Yeah.
Nice day for it.
Can you ride your bike with no handlebars? No handlebars.
No.
How much have I been drinking?
With a microphone.
I love that song. Such a dumb song, but it's such a good song.
Who sings that song?
Flowbots, I think is the band.
Is it?
Or Auto? Yeah, Flowbots.
I don't know why. Whenever I hear that, like my brain thinks of Harvey Danger, flagpole sitter.
I don't know that one. Sorry.
You do, if
Probably.
you heard it. You know,
I know more music
I don't know why
than
my
I
brain goes there.
register, But
I've sang it at karaoke here before.
then yeah, I've heard it.
So I can't finish this.
I mean, I'm not disappointed in you not finishing it. I don't really care about finishing it, but I have like one sip left.
You don't care
so I
about
will.
finishing. What?
It's not about me, Johnny. A selfless lover.
That's perfect. I really hope that turbo comes through the
His
mic.
truck is even more lifted. God, he's cooler.
Oh, that guy's got a stack.
Yeah, I know. He spent a lot of money for no reason. I like that.
Yeah, I know. Those things are fucking pointless and stupid.
Hey, you know what? People have
But it's
different,
cool.
People have different
No,
hobbies.
it's not. It's fucking
They
stupid.
can have their hobbies. I don't mind. People would probably say us sitting here drinking beer on these microphones is stupid. My wife being one of them.
My wife too.
Yeah. My wife.
I have no life.
I mean,
I live a sad, lonely existence in my parents' spare room.
are you lonely? Look at you're here drinking beer with us. And I'm drinking coffee
in case.
because that last beer is gone and
This and karaoke are the highlights of my week and every other week. I said that backwards, but you get it.
that's all I do. Sit at home and enjoy my life. And then come here on Mondays and sing. I want to sing. No, maybe none of that. No singing on my life. Y'all don't watch Monty Python? Come on.
I was going to say, that sounds like Monty Python. I just found
Why
out.
don't you want to marry her? She's got huge tracts of land. I don't want land, Father. I want to sing. No, none of that.
I found a clip on Facebook the other day. It was outtakes from the filming of that movie, and oh my god, it's funny as
Yeah,
hell.
those dudes were funny. I kind of feel like that appropriately leads into our next beer, though. You know, English comedy being as dry as it is, we'll see if this English beer is as dry as their comedy.
That's the best transition I think we've ever had on this show.
I think he planned it.
I think so too.
I didn't, but I'll let him think I did. I'm just really good at creating wonderful digital media for you all. You're welcome. Subscribe to the Patreon. So, Fuller's.
See, that's how you promote it.
2015 bottle conditioned vintage ales.
Patreon.com/highgravity. Sorry.
Trying to do important work here. I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm doing the Lord's work, all right? Fuller's 2015 bottle conditioned vintage ale, limited edition, number 126,777, 8.5% alcohol by volume, brewed beside the River Thames since 1845. Now, I will say, this label looks very fancy, very upper crust, very, rich people. It's got a little golden griffin on it. But they've used like 9 different fonts. And this reminds me of the Mexican lager that we had.
There it is.
Like this
Where
looks,
they overdid the graphics.
yeah, this looks more put together. But look at every line has a different font.
They try to go
looks
more like with
simple.
a wine label concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like a wine fancy design.
It's well done.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's very like
better
classic.
than the Mexican stout one.
Man, yes. But the
I think the beer that shall not be named has a better label than that in his mind.
The problem comes in reading the back for you here because the description is in a 2-point cursive font that I feel like only like a noble from the 1700s would understand. Like it just seems like something
I
that
could
was.
probably read it.
Well, do you want to read it? Because I'm going
Sure.
to. I'm going to read it right
you do
now. I mean, here, no.
No.
It's normally my job, but let's hear Johnny read the
the bottle of
description.
the explanation.
Don't
unto
you queef
Mr.
at me.
Bequeath.
Oh, that's.
I give you
that's
the
not what you
opportunity
said.
to read the explanation that is on the glass
He's
bottle.
giving me the opportunity to read the bottle that I always read in every episode. I like that. Thank you. Thank you for this privilege. All right. So Fuller's 2015 bottle condition limited edition vintage ale, and here comes the tiny font. I have to get in here. Back to tradition is the theme for the 2015 vintage ale, our 19th edition of the series, with 2015 being the 50th anniversary of the famous British malt variety Maris Otter. We've brewed this beer with traditional British ingredients to celebrate the British brewing industry. Hoor? I'm pretty sure that says Hoor, Hoor, malted Maris Otter, is combined with Target, North Down, Challenger, and Golding hops. So a bunch of European hops to create a well-rounded, complex flavor with fruit-driven aroma and bitter finish. This is an exceptional beer that is only available as a limited release of the individually packaged and numbered bottles. We have added a best before date of the 31st of December, 2025.
Oh.
So we are in before the best
nice.
by date, so good for us.
About time.
As this mellow golden ale, interesting because this bottle's really dark. You can't see the color of it. This mellow golden ale will improve for many years to come. Like a fine wine or whiskey, being bottle conditioned, the beer will form a natural sediment. So pour carefully, sit back, and enjoy the very finest of Fuller's ales. Seriously, the font on this is smaller than. Never mind, Johnny. I won't go there.
Fuck off.
The brewmaster signed the bottle. I can't read his name.
One
Depending
thing,
on how good it is, we'll
one thing I'm
sully his
horribly
name.
disappointed in you, Jim, is I bequeathed the opportunity to read it to you. You did not read it in an English accent. What the fuck?
Nope, let's not do that. So they talked about
Back to tradition, the theme of 2015 vintage ale.
Maris Otter in there. Have you used
did.
Maris Otter before?
That's a boat race, isn't it?
They've used Brewer's Malt and Base, but I haven't used the Maris Otter.
I know I have, but only once, and I don't even remember what we made.
Okay.
It was probably an English ale, like an English table beer, because I know we did what we called a table beer. It was a 3.5%, kind of dry beer. But I don't remember anything about it. That was years and years ago. But no, I'm a 2-row guy.
Yep.
Always 2-row. Make some smash beers, 2-row and Amarillo.
Mosaic.
No, I got nothing.
I'd prefer Mosaic. That's
I'm doing it with Mosaic right now.
Two-Hearted, isn't it? Isn't that 2-row and Amarillo?
I don't know. I told you my story of Two-Hearted.
Oh.
Two-Hearted is a smash, which was a surprise to me to find out. Smash beer, smash beer referring
Single
to
malt, single hop.
1 grain, 1 hop.
First, nice.
There we go.
First, homebrew party or invitation I had to any sort of beer party, I had 2 craft beers to my name at this point in existence. I used to think the beer that should not be named was decent at that time. I learned the error of my ways quickly. But I showed up with a 6-pack of Two-Hearted thinking, oh, this is a great beer. And it was a good beer for everything, but I tried that, not having any context or understanding of anything, and I absolutely fucking hated it. I like it now.
The first time I had a craft beer, we've talked about that many times before, but yeah, just that bitterness. That bitterness just punches you right in the fucking mouth.
I didn't know anything about it. I didn't like it, couldn't stand it, wanted nothing to do with it, and I left it there.
So now, just pouring this, I did not expect it to be an amber.
Yeah, it's
he
got
did
that
say it was a
goldeny
golden.
amber color. I saw a couple tiny
It's a
little
little darker
floaties in
than
it, but
golden.
It is definitely
From this
darker.
angle, I was looking at the glass, wondering what the hell the white line is, and it's the reflection of my laptop screen.
It smells nice. It smells kind of like sweet, almost like caramely biscuity smell.
Yeah.
Almost like a little bit of honey on the aroma too.
You know what a biscotti is? Smells
No.
like that. It's like a shortbread kind of cookie cracker breadstick looking thing. Smells like one of those.
Huh. I'm confused.
Yeah. I was going to say, why are you saying, huh? I tasted it, and yeah.
I don't hate it, but I simultaneously also don't like it. And I'm trying to figure out.
Because I don't understand the taste. That's why.
I need more sips.
It tastes like a warm dark Stella.
No.
It's bold, but
It's much
I can taste the
is it?
caramel.
It's snowing.
Yes, it is.
Oh, well, fuck.
It's Michigan.
Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel. Somebody's jingling their keys.
I
Johnny's
can taste
distracted.
that sweetness, kind of like the caramel
Yeah.
style in that.
That you
I
can
taste
smell.
that, yes.
It's got that little bit of that taste.
Huh.
Almost smells like
You know what the problem is? It doesn't have a lot of body at all.
it
That's
is
why.
very thin. But I mean, it's an ale, right? It's not.
Yeah, but it should have a taste. All I taste is like kind of the caramel concept
I'm not
and the
gonna
alcohol
lie.
up
I
front.
like it like a lot.
But it's not bad. There's just really not much taste to it.
No,
I agree.
I'm gonna stick by my thing. Like I feel Stella has more flavor than this, but it tastes like a
tastes
slightly
caramely.
darker version of
I don't
Stella
taste
to me.
malt out of it, or I just taste like
See, I
kind of
don't
that
get
caramely
caramel.
style.
I'm really
a little.
surprised though, given like the body of it and the flavor profile and like just the style being,
Aerate-
9 years old. I'm actually kind of surprised that
Aerated
it's
a little. There's
it
a lot of like
has
red
the flavor it has.
But it says Best Buy till next year still.
Right. I'm just surprised. Like
wonder-
normally you don't see a beer this color or like this body or any of these characteristics being aged.
I wonder how they bottle condition this.
in the bottle.
Yeah, but if you're conditioning your beer, you're like using potassium metabisulfate, or you're using.
That's a sanitizer, bro.
Yeah.
You,
To
like,
make
rinse it
sure
and
that
dump
there's
it.
nothing alive in the
Yeah.
bottle to change its flavor.
No, yes. So you're conditioning your beer to make sure that there's no oxygen, removes the oxygen out of it.
I've always rinsed that shit out though. I don't think
you
you're
can
supposed to
use it.
leave it in there.
You can use it in beer. That's what conditions beer. It pulls the oxygen out of it. And then you can use
I've never-
potassium sorbate K, I think it was, and that's what kills your yeast before you bottle, or you can't.
I've
bottle
honestly
them.
never understood the usage of the potassium metabisulfate. Is that I've always thought of it and used it as a sanitizer.
Well, it pulls oxygen out. That's why.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because oxygen is a bigger killer than oxygen and light.
Yeah.
Are the two
Oh, yeah.
killers as far as like
And with this
aging
being
goes.
a dark beer, or not dark, I mean dark bottle.
Yeah, the bottle definitely it's a very sturdy bottle.
Yeah.
That looks like it has a very like it has a good gripping cap. So like I feel like they definitely intended for this to be aged.
It almost has like that English bitter to it.
I mean,
to me.
I can
that would
see
make
that,
sense because that's I mean that what do they just called it an ale, right? They just a vintage ale.
What's
brewed
Untapped
by the
say
River
about
Thames. No, go ahead and check it. Yeah, check Untapped. It has a barcode. You can scan it.
You can scan and untap. Man, I'm wearing all kinds of shit.
Hey, you didn't know that? That little in the search bar on the far right side, there's a little like almost looks like
What brewery?
parentheses with a little line on it. You can just tap that and it brings up your camera
No
and you can
shit.
scan barcodes. Now,
It's opening still.
a lot of the barcodes, like say for like KBS, if you scan any KBS bottle, it will just come up as KBS. It doesn't matter what year it is. So if you want to check in the year, the variety,
Oh, son of a
you have
bitch,
to look it
does.
up.
Only while using the app.
But yeah, you can. Yeah, the scan works pretty good. I'm actually pretty impressed with
Cool.
it. Given how many of these bottles were made, this one being the 126,777th bottle, like there's probably some information on Untapped out there about it.
Oh, you're pretty good at remembering that number.
I looked right at it on the bottle.
I was trying to help you out.
Yeah, that's fine. I probably, if I dug in my memory, I probably would remember because the numbers patterns for some reason like stick in my brain, but only specific ones. And I don't know what the rhyme or reason is to it, but like
3.14159.
cosine, tangent, secant, sine.
Oh, it says pi.
Yeah, I know what it is. That's MIT's battle cry. They don't have a sports team. They're a math school. They're an
Fucking
engineering school.
Nerds. Goddamn fucking nerds.
Cosine, tangent, secant, sine, 3.14159.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, like certain
should
number
I read
patterns
it,
just
or-
like I don't know, they like show up in my brain. It's weird.
Well, I do like this vintage ale over the porter.
I honestly feel like they're on
That's
an
a
even
tough
playing
one.
field. I think I'd rather
I
drink
like this better.
I think I'd rather drink
Yeah.
this, but I feel very similarly about both. I feel like both are almost there, like they're almost trying to achieve something. Like I think the porter fresher would have had more flavor,
So there's-
and this
It might
just
have been
in
better
general
fresher.
doesn't have a lot of flavor.
There's an interesting thing on Untapped, but I'll read it. I'll try to read through it quickly. It's about style old/stock ale. A distinctive quality of these ales is that their yeast undergoes an aging process, often for years, in bulk storage or through bottle condition, which contributes to a rich wine-like and often sweet oxidation character. Old ales are copper red to very dark in color. Complex ester character may emerge. Historically, stock ales were made very strong, at least 7.5% ABV, and they were made only from the first high-gravity runnings of a party guile brew. What the hell that is?
Yeah, I know in like English or even traditional brewing, like they would do the first run and then they'd run the grains again for like the table
lighter,
beer.
yeah.
Or for, yeah.
Yep. The preservative effects of alcohol and hot bitterness are probably responsible for the stock, quote unquote, ale
Not
name.
a lot of bitterness like it mentioned
No.
on the label. I don't really get a ton of bitterness.
It was a beer for keeping as opposed to a running beer, meant to be served soon after fermentation. Some cases, the old ale was a blend of young and old. The stock ale was the brewery's very aged ale and was used to inject an old quality and perhaps acidity to the blend. Huh.
I don't know.
Interesting.
The more I drank of it, the more I kind of came to enjoy it a little more.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be something that, like, if I was walking down the beer aisle and I saw this, I would want to choose it over a lot of other things. But at the same time, like, I wouldn't be mad if someone says, hey, I've got a Fuller's 2015 bottle-aged vintage ale limited edition number 126,777. I wouldn't be like, no.
You have friends that are a lot more specific in their offerings, Steve, friend.
Well, you know, when you spend that much time
Why
making
would
a
they have
label,
the same number we have?
well, because Fullers are liars.
I assume they made more than one
Yeah,
bottle.
but it would be 8.
They made
or 9, 7,
they
8,
made
7,
they
9.
made 3 million of them, and they just put the same number on all of them, so everyone thinks they're special. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, these are the days everyone gets a participation trophy, so it makes sense.
Well, Fuller's, congratulations on brewing beside the River Thames. I'm honestly,
Your beer you made 9 years ago was
for
phenomenal.
all of our British audience, please
have a person.
correct our pronunciation.
That's my daughter, yes.
Yeah, but she just walked. I mean, I understand. She saw us and walked away. I get it.
I would do the same, but here I am.
Does she need in?
No.
Oh, okay.
She has a key anyways.
I was going to say, I would assume she has a key. So this seems like a perfect time for a commercial, or do we want to just talk through it?
Or we can just commercial.
Commercial!
Today we salute you, Mr. Overtime Clown Entertainer. In a world of somber professions, you dare to don the red nose and oversized shoes, heroically facing the toughest crowd known to man, sugar-fueled kiddie parties. You've mastered the art of transforming balloon animals like a mystical latex wizard, bringing to life poodles that stretch and giraffes that bend. Where others see a makeup-free face, you see a canvas for exaggerated smiles and rouge that can be seen from space. While most flee in terror at the mention of mime, you lock yourself in invisible boxes because someone must carry on the sacred tradition. And although the screams of laughter and joy are music to your ears, in your heart, you know the true reward is a leftover birthday cake and half-filled goodie bags. So, crack open a cold one. Oh, Duke of the Droll. Because when it comes to putting on a show, you're not just clowning around, you're king of the circus ring.
Welcome back from the commercial break. Moving on to whatever that new beer is.
Yeah, we're gonna have something else. The last 2 beers were kind of a little bit meh. So
Meh.
So while I
Sit there and meh. You gotta say it like a sheep.
I didn't do it like a sheep.
I know. That's what I said. You gotta
this
say it
one
like a sheep.
is probably from around the same time. I bought it from the same place. This is from Clown Shoes Brewery, which is in Ipswich, Massachusetts. We've had some Clown Shoes before. They always make really
Not
good
the
beers.
shoes themselves, but the beers they make.
Well, yes, of course. So this one
I
is.
know a clown if we want to like make a beer and run off his shoes and try it.
I don't want to do that at all.
I don't either.
I don't think anyone wants to do that. Daryl, do you want to do that?
I don't know.
I want to hear about this beer.
Yeah, me too.
My glass is empty.
I'll stop.
So this one is called Crunkle Sam, and it's got, like kind of like a George Washington-esque figure on the bottle, and like he's got chains and he's got his pimp goblet, and he looks like
want a
he's
pimp goblet.
He looks like he's crunk as fuck. He is Crunkle Sam. We'll definitely get a picture of it and share it because like
Jamming out to his radio.
bro, that's
Boombox.
yeah, that's a ghetto blaster, bro. Like he's got that shit on lock. Like, Crunkle Sam is funky as fuck. So this is an American barley wine ale. We've had some American barley wine before, and as you remember, like it very much hit all the beer standard points. So we'll have to compare.
And every time we've talked about barley wine, you don't like barley wine, but
Correct.
you've liked the last two we've tried.
do.
To be fair, when I first tried this one, I didn't like it either.
Yeah, so
We're gonna see if 11 years of age has helped.
in the episodes where I was drunk as shit, we missed like 4 to be fairs, by the way. We did a very great disservice to our listeners, and I apologize.
Yeah. Anyway, brewed in Ipswich, Massachusetts.
To be fair,
We brewed Crunkle Sam, an American barley
come
wine
on.
ale,
Don't leave me
dry
hanging.
hopped with Chinook hops to celebrate America. America, we love you.
America.
Thank you for allowing Clown Shoes to set off a few fireworks in the craft beer world.
I'm going to wait until one of y'all calls that one back.
What?
I said, to be fair, nobody responded.
I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck you guys.
All right, now let me open this bottle. All right, it's still carbonated. That's a good start.
Pass this.
Smell good?
The bottle smells like pineapple.
What have you been sniffing?
Smell it. Smell it out of the bottle.
That sounds so dirty.
It does kind of smell like pineapple.
It does kind of smell like pineapple, doesn't it? Yeah. I think when I smell, I've had a lot of barley wine, so that I feel like it's got that pineapple smell. Like it's not like
Jesus, you're not wrong.
exactly. Yeah.
I would say dirty pineapple.
Well, depends on where you put it. It's got nice carbonation.
I've seen Little Nicky. It's not going there.
It's got nice carbonation. It's got nice color. It's like a brown amber color. I think this is slightly darker than our last American barley wine.
It
Whoa.
has the same smell as the barley wine.
I don't like it. Yeah.
Tastes like a barley wine.
No, it does not.
A little dry.
It's dry as fuck.
I bet you're used to that.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yep. I got nothing to come back in that with.
It's not bad.
It's got the hops, that bitter up front.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
there's definitely a
surprised
hop
for
in
something this old.
It stayed in there pretty good. But I'm not a
what
fan
she
of the
said.
hops they used.
Chinook.
The taste of it compared to the last one we had.
Well, that barley wine was fresh and good.
I don't like it.
So are you going to spit it out?
Hell no. I don't spit. I'm going to swallow all of this.
Uh-huh. He's going to do that, and now you have to hear it.
He's going to enhance that sound.
I don't think that came through.
I don't hate it, but I don't really care for it.
I don't like it.
Compared to the other barley wines we've had. But again, this is 100 years old.
This is so dry. Like this. Let me see the bottle. I want a little more of it. Oh my God, there's a lot in there. All right. Well, we're gonna go for the. Not what I meant to do, but.
You can hear the amount of head that has because it's very.
Holy shit.
For the guy just says how much he doesn't like it, just poured himself a full glass.
Well, I had to get the pour
Yeah,
quality.
I'm curious to see how it drinks through like a nice frothy head because I mean it does carb up really nice. Like it.
It's a very creamy head.
I don't know. It's not great. Then again, I didn't like it when it was fresh either.
But still, out of the 3 barley wines we've had on the show now, this is probably the last.
worst.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Yeah.
I think it also had the least chance to succeed.
After 11 years.
Right. Exactly.
It's just so flat.
Well, it's not flat. It's carbonated, but the flavor. I know
Flat
what you mean.
flavor
Yeah.
profile. Yeah, I don't mean in carbonation. It's got carbonation, and that's great. But the flavor profile is so just flat, and like there's a hops dominance that just.
I'm really surprised by that, honestly, that the bitterness from the hops still exists after this amount of time. So I imagine, let me bring it up on Untapped and see what I said about it that many years ago, because I'm curious if I actually checked this in if I was doing Untapped at that time. Because now I'm just kind of curious in general. How do you spell
Crunkle.
Just want to be sure.
The Crunkle.
Yep, Crunkle Sam. I did check it in. Oh, apparently
You liked it.
I liked this one. 'Cause I remember last time I had it,
Damn it, all that shit talk about it. Now we have to
Still
redo
sucks.
the episode.
I don't
this
like-
one,
Nah, we'll leave it.
let's see here. Toffee and burnt caramel.
What?
Yep, that was when it was fresh. And actually, the picture, I can see Pagel in the background. We had this at
I could see a little bit of the toffee.
Three Blind Mice Irish pub.
In Mount Clemens.
I got drunk there once.
He's wearing his
I wasn't.
Are
drunk,
they
my
still there, or do they sell?
They're still there as far as I know.
Okay.
We lived a couple blocks from there when they opened, and it was a good place to go. I liked going there. Their food was really good, and they had a lot of
have
beers to
food
choose
there?
from.
I think we might have talked about them before on the show.
Oh yeah,
We have, because that's where my buddies, the whatever the guy version of the diaper party versus baby shower party is. That's where we went after. That was where we were almost inducted into the 1988 class reunion. When all of
yeah.
us at the
I remember
table
that.
were born in 1988 and everyone thought we were part of their class. We really should have jumped into that group picture. That would have been great.
Yeah,
We were invited, but we're like,
there was no toffee. This is not sweet.
I get like the burnt toffee thing. I don't
I don't.
See, I kind of hope
get anything else.
next week's beer selections are better. Because, like,
Me too.
I wasn't a big fan of anything today.
Yeah, the
Nothing has stood out that we've had in this week or last week.
which is unusual.
Yeah.
Normally we have some like really good standouts.
Yeah.
I did like that Neapolitan last week.
I like the new Gatorade water. That's actually pretty good. But
Yeah, the Neapolitan was fine.
yeah, that one was
It was definitely better when it was on tap, but
the
it was
blend of
sweeter
these
too.
was okay. But I think the overall winner so far in the last two episodes was the Neapolitan.
My favorite beer is still that Salt River barrel aged.
That was
Oh, the River Salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, River Salt.
don't
That
know
was
what my favorite
Pierce Javelin.
Yeah, that
Pierres.
that was good.
We've had a number of good ones that
But that's the one that stands out still for me.
I could just start bringing Dark Lord variants to every recording, and we can have one. I've so many.
I'm okay with that.
Well, probably not next week, but the week after, I might stop at a local brewery, whatever the highest gravity is. Just
try
pick
something.
some up and we'll bring them in here.
Flavor of the month. Try some local breweries. That's not a bad
But if
idea.
we don't like them, we can't say who it is.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can talk mad
Hell
shit.
yeah, we can.
Haters
Because
gonna hate.
that leaves it for an opportunity for us to invite said
No,
brewer
but they're
on
my
the show.
friends.
Well,
I don't want to
fuck
talk shit about them.
Fuck them. When you do a show that caters to the public, you have to remain impartial. We judge homebrewers the same way. We just won't say who it is.
See?
There you go.
So we won't say who it is. Damn it.
I just contradicted I just contradicted everything I just said. You're
I
right.
didn't have to say
You're
anything.
right. Fuck.
I didn't have to say nothing.
Well, you heard it here, folks. I don't know where I'm going to go to finish that statement, but yeah.
All right, so not a fan of any of the beers today.
No.
Yeah, and we even had an extra one. We went for this clown shoes as a little
I think
extra for
this
this
one
episode.
I think was my favorite.
The vintage. I mean, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I have no complaints
good
about it. I
drinking
just
beer.
really have no compliments either.
It's the most generalized, acceptable, good drinking beer. All the rest of these have either high point, a low point, or a funky point, and that one stands out as the most. I'd order that and drink it.
So let's see, how much time do we have left?
I don't fucking.
I want to
know.
call it out. Because if we have time, we've talked about September 14th
That's right.
doing an actual party for beer.
True.
And if we have enough time, we'll talk about one of the beers that we started deciding on, go through the recipe. If we don't, it'll have to wait till next week.
I think when I cut out the parts that I have to cut out that we already discussed cutting out, we're probably 30-ish minutes.
Perfect. We've got time to discuss then.
Yeah.
Sounds
yeah.
good.
So, one of the things that we've talked on and we've mentioned a couple of times is how the black IPA is a criminally underrated style.
And one of the three styles that we want to pull back.
Exactly. So we've decided that we want to do 3 different recipes because there are 3 of us. And, in kind of a celebration to drink with, the fans and fellow patrons of StarCraft Brewery. And So
And the fans and patrons of the High Gravity podcast.
that's what I said. Yeah.
Sure.
Right, exactly. So this, we've got a black IPA, and shout out to my good friend Dan. We call him Senpai. We've mentioned him before.
How do you spell his name? Because in our text messages, I feel I'm spelling it wrong.
Senpai, Senpai.
I'm doing it right.
Yeah. Anyway, this is one of his recipes from many, many years ago that I've made a bunch of times, and it's always been one of my favorites. It's a very straightforward black IPA with rye. So it's called Black Rye Day.
Yeah, when I saw that, kind of threw me off rye with the black IPA.
Yep. And I love rye beers. I love rye whiskeys. Rye PAs are always good. So, you get the rye, you get the dark malt, you get the richness. We don't have to go into too many granular details, but
Just kind of like what's going to be in it. And
yeah, some Cascade hops, which are all going to be pretty much late edition. There's just some generic bittering hops initially, so it's not going to be too forward on the bitterness. A lot of flavor and aroma hops, so you got a lot of those late edition, the 15.5 and Flame Out.
when we looked at it, I'm trying to go from memory, we had hops right in the beginning, right at 60 minutes, right?
Yep.
Yep, and those were the bittering
Yep.
side of it. And then when we looked at the overall, though, the IBUs are still kind of low, aren't they?
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah, it is pretty low IBU. We have discussed about tweaking the bitterness slightly because it's supposed to come in at 75 IBU, which isn't.
Oh, that's at 75?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Isn't
good. I thought
super
the one you
bitter.
showed me was worse than that. I thought it was in the 50s or something.
No, those the particular hops that are used for bittering are pretty strong.
Yep. Yeah, 75 is good.
But yeah, it's got rye malt as the base grain, so we're not using Maris Otter or two row for this one. So it's to our earlier conversation about Maris Otter versus two row. This one has neither.
And if you're making that rye malt, it's just staying under 30% of your overall grain. Mm-hmm. But last time I made my rye malt, I was 60% of my grain bill with rye, and it still tasted amazing. So you can't just follow that rule.
I pushed rye well over 30%, and it's come out good. The last barrel aged stout I did was like 33% different
I
rye
remember in
malts.
class we were talking about figuring numbers based on grain bill and percentages, and I'd have to find the notebook, but we talked about what your typical category calls for and pushing it. And this guy, I don't even think I could remember it then to explain it, but the gist of it was you have a general rule, and then, like you said, you can push it.
Yep.
And you can push some of that so far outside of the
But what you're
understood
getting-
rules and categories.
Especially with the rye, you're getting that more peppery taste out of it. It's going to be more potent right up front.
I found I got a lot of maple syrup notes out of a super high rye grain bill.
What a lot of it boiled down to, and to quote one of my favorite movies, it's more like guidelines than actual rules.
Yeah, and I think that's something that in the kind of this microbrewery revolution that we've seen in the last 20 years or whatever, there's a lot of these kind of standards for beer that we have just done for years and years and years because that's the way they were always done.
Yeah.
And we're coming to find that there's a lot of things that are done just for sake of tradition and not necessarily done for any sort of logical purpose.
So now,
Yeah.
looking at this, though, you have rye malt.
As your
and
base
then-
grain.
Yeah, so which is kind of crazy that rye is your base. So you don't have a two-row setup in here. So it's going to be straight rye.
Yep.
So it's
Has to be dry.
98% rye. Well, a high bill, right? Because you only have 1 pound here. Oh no, it's
No, yeah, there's 1.5 pounds versus 2 pounds.
70%.
How many
70%.
gallon batch is that based on?
It's 5.
Yeah, we'll scale it.
So then the next thing that they have on here that you have set up is Carafa.
Yep,
And I'm
Carafa
sure
2.
that's right there's the brand name. Weyerman, that's probably the Weyerman. So that's just a black malt is all that's going to be.
Yep. The Carafa 3 is even darker.
Yep, so Ryerman Carafas, which is black malt. And then caramel crystal malt, you have 80L, which 80L is just the darkness of that roast. So, I mean, you don't need 80L on that. You could use 20, 40, 60, any of them just to get that taste out because you're not looking for the color off of it, though.
We want it dark.
Oh, it's going to be dark.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
Oh, so that looks definitely a little different.
Yeah, I've always
Mostly rye.
I've come to trust Dan's opinions and his takes
We
on
got to
things
get him on this show one of these days. Seriously.
anytime. Well, I told him I made sure that when we tap this or bottle this and drink it, I told him that he'll have a VIP position to come up and drink it because this.
Nice.
And I said full credit where credit's due. I've done this recipe a bunch of times and I've tweaked it and changed it and stuff too. Like I've thrown in a little bit of chocolate rye just for a little bit of extra rye darkness. I've tried it with different hops and things like that. So I've played around with the recipe, but the base recipe is excellent and he's done something magical with it. So I've always been very happy
I wish
about
I
it.
had more people in my group that would drink this kind of stuff so that I could experiment with tweaking brews and different beers that I make, but I don't.
I know enough people that don't. They'll
I
drink
have
anything.
you guys,
so.
and that's it.
Well,
We're here for you.
Now we can drink this.
So looking at this recipe, though, just to kind of continue through here, you mentioned the bittering hops right at 60 minutes, so right for the boil. Get the IBUs up there, then your cascades all the way through. But what I see, and I don't see it very often on IPAs unless it's more that New England or that juice IPA, is at the whirlpool we're actually adding hops into this as well.
Yeah, you're like at the flame out.
Yep, flame out, the whirlpool, getting those hops in. So that's going to bring a lot of those oils back out.
That's kind of I would say kind of a staple of any sort of IPA or pale ale that I make. I have a lot of like 5-minute and 0-minute additions of hops.
But if you try and do more of that West Coast bitter style, you're not doing anything at the end.
And I don't like really bitter IPAs. So I like aroma and flavor. I'm a big fan of like Belgian IPAs, like I've discussed before, because a lot of them focus more on that flavor and aroma rather than bitterness. And
I like that.
That's what got me into brewing was I wanted to make an IPA that wasn't so fucking bitter.
So I like everything about Belgians, just the strong, very punch you in the face kind of dominant beers. I love that.
And 50% of your hops in here, 50% used for bittering for the most part, and the other 50 is oils and then dry hopping.
Yeah,
you're throwing in there for 7 days, so it's definitely gonna have a lot of that aroma to it from the Cascade.
It's gonna pair well with the with all that rye. And I'm excited. I haven't done this recipe in a little while, but this has always been my favorite black IPA of all the variations I've done. The kind of the root recipe I've always come back to is something that's very enjoyable.
Nice.
I'm curious to see this offset though with the 75 IBU. Being pretty bitter, and then the dry hop with the flame out hops and the oils that come out of it, how that balances on this. It looks interesting. Looks really good.
We'll find out.
We will.
So
the black IPA is going to be one of them.
Yes, we will have a black IPA. And who knows, maybe people will really, really love it and we can,
bring it back.
Drink it on the regular.
I thought maybe bring it back, black IPAs.
That's right. I mean, hey, beer styles come and go.
Can we partner with AC/DC for that? Back in black.
Yeah, there's like for a while there was those NEPAs were like the thing and
NEPAs.
New England IPAs,
like M43 and Boss Tweed and other variants. West Coast IPAs were before that, and just
West
IPAs
Coast
in
IPAs
general
are still strong overall.
I mean, you bring out some
on
like
an
Pliny.
IPA?
I'm gonna drink some Pliny the Elder.
Yep, on an IPA status, West Coast is probably where it's at.
And they're more that resiny kind of like dry, bitter IPA instead of that
Pine
juicy,
needles.
fruity. Yeah, and I prefer that over like the juicy, fruity ones. I've had some milkshake IPAs that were real interesting. Brute IPAs were really popular for a minute, which is strange to me. I haven't had many brute beers I really liked. So the styles are always changing, and I hope that like black ales and black IPAs and things like that come around because I like a nice, thin, light drinking beer, but I also like those bold, rich flavors you get from dark beer. So that middle ground's really fun.
And then we have an idea for the third beer because we already know the second one's going to be a barrel aged.
Yes.
We have an idea for the third beer, but we haven't talked to Johnny about it yet, so we'll talk off air first.
I don't know about this one.
It's an interesting concept.
I'm excited.
It's pretty crazy.
Because I had a thought on
Definitely
that
nostalgic.
too, because we've talked about a few. You and I talked about one, and then I had a thought about one actually the last few days that we would discuss maybe.
All right, well, I'm out of beer.
Me too.
I'm not drinking any more of that beer.
Fair enough.
I'll tell you one for the team, but I got to hit the head first, so we should probably call this.
I
Godspeed.
hit the head too.
All right, then.
See ya.
Oh, wait, are we going to hold hands again?
No.
Okay.
If you didn't learn anything today, at least remember this. Beer is the answer that makes everything better.
Can't remember the question. But who cares when you have a cold one in your hand?
Remember, everybody, drink responsibly, drink high gravity.
Most importantly, drink well.
Okay, not the well. Life's too short for bad beer.
Stay frothy, my friends.